Fun to watch. Big, strong arm. Makes a lot of plays. Good player.
How were you with him during college?
Well, he was always the guy. Really, the whole time. I mean, for his whole 3 years, he was going to be the next number one pick. So I knew him the entire time he was playing.
Did you ever think that you would supplant him?
No, I never thought I'd be the number one pick. I was some unknown backup guy for 3 years.
Really is amazing, and it shows how quickly things can change with one additional football season, because before that 2019 season began, we never would have thought Joe Burrow was going to be the number one pick in the draft. It was pointing toward a guy like Justin Herbert instead, or it was pointing toward Tua by then. Yeah. It had gone from Justin Herbert to Tua. So it ends up being Burrow 1, Tua 5, Herbert 6. Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow get together this weekend in Cincinnati. A big game for both teams. The Chargers trying their best to position themselves for the postseason in a wacky AFC West where you've got the Chiefs in first place at 7-4. Everybody else is 6-5. Bengals at 7-4, winning 2 in a row after losing 2 in a row. Huge game with significant implications, Peter, between these two quarterbacks. And I can't get a read on this one because I can't get a read on the Chargers. I never know which Chargers team is going to show up. That's the one thing that has remained consistent even with a new coaching staff. You don't know what you're going to get from the Chargers until you get it.
The reason I love this game is because even though we look at Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert as these mega young quarterbacks, 23 and 24 years old, and we say that, boy, they're going to be two foundation pieces for the NFL going forward. Isn't it amazing that at no time ever in their lives have they played a game against each other or been together or know each other at all? It's almost like the Rocky Mountains separated Justin Herbert from all these other quarterbacks back east and down south. One of those quarterbacks was Joe Burrow, and at Ohio State and at LSU, he never came in contact with Joe Burrow. Now, I'm assuming they maybe in the draft process or whatever, they got to know each other a little bit. And now these two guys who've combined for 90 touchdown passes in their careers so far in a year and 2/3. I mean, I just hope right now that this is the first of about 20 games between these guys, because it almost feels in some way like this is the first game you're seeing between Montana and Elway. And who knows if they'll turn out to be that way. But they're both mad bombers, and they both can move around. Now, Marino couldn't move around, but Elway could. I love the story of Herbert versus Burrow.
And we're looking for the next Brady and Peyton Manning.
Brady Manning,
I think,
yeah,
we're looking for that. And the difference is, and somebody asked me about this earlier in the week, Brady and the Patriots were dominating the AFC East, and Peyton Manning and the Colts were dominating the AFC South, which made it more likely they were going to cross paths every year in the playoffs. I think what we're going to see now is just this broader assortment of compelling quarterback matchups, none of which may rise to the level of a regular rivalry. But there's just so many good young quarterbacks in the NFL now. You've got Patrick Mahomes playing this guy, this guy, this guy. You've got Joe Burrow playing this guy, this guy, this guy. The question I was asked was whether Burrow and Mac Jones could end up becoming the next Brady and Manning. I just think that there's too many good teams. There's too many good quarterbacks. We're not going to have a situation where the Patriots dominate the AFC East for 10 years and some other team dominates its division in the AFC for 10 years. It's just not going to happen. Every year is going to be its own thing. And I think we're going to see more years like this, Peter, where teams are alive far deeper than ever before. Now that we add that extra game, the accordion effect on the season, it's making Pete Rozell's vision fully come to reality.
Mike, I really think what you just said is right. I love the fact that Burrow, Tua, and Herbert are all in the AFC. Because think about it. If one of them was in the NFC, if Joe Burrow played for the Bears, he'd see Justin Herbert once every 4 years. And in my opinion, that's sad. Like, I think it's sad that Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes are only going to play every 4 years. Those are headline guys. And that's why I think, look, and I've gone nuts about this way too often. And I'm not going to go nuts here, but I am going to make this point. The NFL should use that 17th game every year to invent matchups that are great for football. Now, I understand that that might be unfair to some teams. Well, that's life. I mean, the fact that you can get more great matchups, that Howard Katz and his schedule team could invent great matchups every year. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, because I know that you might just say, well, look, if Kansas City has to play Dallas every other year or whatever it is, you know, it's unfair to the Raiders, you know, who might have an easier schedule because you've got to give them somebody for a 17th game. No, my only point is, because somebody's going to have to play the Lions. My only point about it is, wouldn't it be fun that once every 2 or 3 years, if you gave another rivalry type fun game to these great teams in football, and then the next year or two you have them play normal, whatever, run-of-the-mill teams. And I just think, I love the fact that we are going to see Burrow, Tua, assuming he wins the job in Miami, and Herbert against each other a lot in the next 15 years.
And they're already doing what you're suggesting, sort of. They're doing it in a way that creates predictability and competitive balance by having that 17th game be a game against another team in the other conference that finished in the same spot in its division that you did. That's how we got Packers-Chiefs this year, for example. That's how we got Bucs-Colts this past weekend, for example. So they're already kind of moving that way. I know what I could say to get you really upset right now, but we got to go to break. I'll say it on the way out, and you can yell at me.
Come
during
on,
break.
go ahead. Go ahead.
They can adopt your suggestion for the 18th game. How about that? No way. Stop it. Stop it right now.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.